Negotiation is such a universal activity that in movies you can see very good example of what's happening in business meetings. So here is an extract of the movie Edison the Man with Spencer Tracy. This extract, I found it on YouTube, so I took it and I decided to cut it in part to show you the different elements of tactics that you can see in the sequence of negotiation between one seller and two buyers. Let's watch the scene.
There you are, General. What do you think of it?
Why, you've done it. And that's that.
Looks like it.
Would you be interested in taking over a plant to manufacture these tickets?
Oh, no, sir. I'd like to sell it outright. I got some other things I want to do.
What are some of these other things?
Well, I'll bring them around and show them to the General when I think they're right. You see, I like the cigars I get here.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm now in association with the General, so let's talk business.
I'm ready.
So let's discover this scene where Thomas Edison, played by Spencer Tracy, is going to try to sell to two buyers his new invention. The two buyers are working together, they belong to the same group. To better understand the scene, it's also interesting to look at the circumstances. The scene is taking place at the office of the business people. The time seems to be short for every participant. He seems to be in a hurry to do the deal. The stakes officially are about money, but we will soon discover that the ego was very important also. It seems that they have decided to work together and that they are neither going to play on a lack of urgency nor on the existence of alternative or BATNAs. Then in terms of trust, although we might think at the beginning that there is some level of trust between the protagonists, we'll see at the end that finally there was no trust among them. Let's watch the scene now and let's discover the tactic that they are putting together, starting with the first offer.
How much do you want for this stock ticker?
Well, I suppose you make me an offer, General, whatever you think is fair.
How about $20,000?
Making the first offer. What is the objective? It's to ensure the discussion on favorable ground. And of course, to do that, you need to be able to justify convincingly your answer. And we enter into the world of argumentation. In the context of the scene, only the business people can justify the price and have a good idea of how much the invention is worth. We enter into the world of situational mapping, where people make a first proposition, and that's the first offer from one of the business guys. Let's watch the reaction of Mr. Edison.
How much?
I said $20,000.
$20,000. Well, 20,000.
Perhaps a fair price with world rights would be $30,000.
When you move from one proposition to another, you either use argumentation, concessions, or tactics, or a combination of two or three of them. Here, to go from 20,000 to 30,000, the businessman is going to use argumentation, and he is going to explain that finally he'll take the world rights and that justify an increase of the proposition. It's an argumentation, it's also some sort of concession counter-trade, because he takes more, he's ready to pay for more. Now let's watch the reaction of Mr. Edison.
30,000.
Yeah, $30,000. Well,
Come now, let's make it 40,000. World rights and everything. I really think that's fair.
Yes, General, I think that's fair.
Moving from one position to another is also possible with tactics. And here it's another businessman answering and going from 30 to 40,000. And how does he do it? Well, he recapped what was said previously and he add nothing more. Because once you have given up the world rights, you can't really give more, you can't give the galactical rights, so he has nothing more to offer. And he proposed to go from 30 to 40 using tactics. The two tactics used are speaking on your behalf, when the guy dare to say, I really think that's fair. Come on, how can you speak on the behalf of someone? Imagine another context. Imagine you are in love with someone and you say, I really love you. That's okay. Imagine now that you say, oh, you really love me. That would be strange. And it is the same thing in this sequence. How could you dare telling someone it's a good offer for you, it's a good proposition for you, it's a good deal for you? Basically, the person should be the one saying that. So each time you speak on the behalf of people, it's not a very good idea, although sometimes you are well-intentioned. And each time people speak on your behalf, be careful. Most of the time they are trying to manipulate you, even if they don't realize that. The second tactic used by the guy is basically to behave exactly as if he had already the agreement from Mr. Edison. The accomplished fact is also a tactical play that most of the time is not very much cooperative. Let's watch the rest of the scene.
Oh, General, before you make that out, you advanced me some money, you remember. $215 in cash, $106.23 in material. It comes to $321.23.
Are you sure that's correct?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
All right. We'll forget it.
Moving from one position to another with concession counter-trade. And this is what Mr. Edison is offering. He's offering to deduct the amount of money that he received in advance from the business people. And this is a very cooperative tactic since it's a unilateral self-concession. Basically, you want to balance things and you want to get fairness in the deal. However, considering the small amount of money, it's not going to be accepted by the other party who will stay on $40,000.
Thank you, sir.
What are you going to do with all that money?
I'll tell you one thing I'm not going to do with it. Not going to buy any gas stock.
You might do worse.
I doubt it, Mr. Taggart. Oh, here are the patent papers, General. They're yours now. And thank you, sir.
Don't mention it. Goodbye.
Now we have a deal, people went through the steps, and finally they agreed on 40. They exchange the document, they shake hands, and at this stage everybody is happy. Until the rest of the scene where one of the protagonists is doing something strange.
One moment. Don't congratulate yourself too much. You may be interested to know that we were prepared to go as high as $60,000 for your invention.
You were?
We were.
It may interest you to know that I was prepared to sell it for $2,000.
Disclosing. What about us? It's the general idea that people want to disclose their confidential information, trying to see if they really made a better deal than you did. So they are more after who won rather than after did we make a good deal mutually. In this short sequence, you see one of the business guy disclosing his breaking point, and in return, Mr. Edison is also disclosing his own breaking point. So the protagonists are discovering the truth, and here it seems that Mr. Edison maybe did slightly a better deal than just the middle deal between 2,000 and 60,000. But the point is that once you know that, everybody is unhappy, and I can't imagine what would be the next meeting with the protagonist now that they have the feeling that it's a competition and that they are trying to lie to one another to get the best in their favor. Good guy, bad guy, tactical play. The good guy was rather played by the gentleman on the left and the bad guy by the gentleman on the right. And good guy, bad guy is a complex tactical play which is made of multiple players. One is playing flattery and the other one is playing threat and intimidation. Both are exactly asking for the same thing, and that's how you recognize the tactic. What's the antidote? Well, most of the time, since the expected behavior with this tactic is that you would be nice with the good guy, while the antidote is most of the time to be a nasty interlocutor to the pretended good guy. In this scene, clearly Mr. Edison was right to go through the deal and make the deal with whoever was ready to offer the best offer, and in this instance, it was the good guy. The purpose of this video was to show you that in business discussions, there is always a moment where someone is making the first proposition, the first offer. And then from this first offer, you have successive propositions, normally coming from both parties, and everyone goes from one proposition to another proposition using tools. And these tools are argumentation, concession counter-trade, and tactics. And to better navigate from one proposition to another, you normally prepare those argumentation, those concession counter-trade exchange, and those tactics during the preparation phase. I hope you'll never go again in the business meetings without watching for these tools, the argumentation, the concession counter-trades, and the tactics, preparing yours and observing those of the others to adapt to their proposition. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more management and negotiation videos. See you soon. Thank you.